Oh my God. It feels so good to be back to doing this shit. So, what the hell is going on? And I'm already stuffing up, bro. It's been literally 5 seconds since the start of this podcast. That's a great start. But welcome everyone to episode 5, I believe, of the Robert Verdugo podcast. I need to correct myself in case I am wrong, because most of the time I am always wrong. But welcome to the podcast. My name is Robert Verdugo. I've been doing these podcasts for a while and I absolutely love them. And I've been getting some good feedback in regards to you guys loving it. So it's been good. I mean, if you guys have seen my last video, that was an amazing response to the point where, so I uploaded it, I think at 10 p.m. my time, being Melbourne, got in bed by like 11:30, and I just had to, I replied to so many individuals going through something similar, if not worse, and just getting a sense of not everyone is perfect, and not like you see individuals, like you see them every day or you see them frequently and like they're really close to you and you just don't realize. Before I go even any further, because this is going to be a main topic of today, is mental health, why it is important to always be positive, why the fuck does it exist in the first place. It's a very touchy subject, and it's something that I've really wanted to talk about for the last 2 months or so. I just haven't had the courage to come out and talk about it in a full-on podcast. But we're going to talk about that. But before we do, the bloody Australian Open has just begun, fam. My God, I am so excited. It's not even episode 5. It is episode 4. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Sorry, guys. But episode 4, Australian Open just started on the Monday of the January 14th, I believe. And it's been really good. I actually went on the Monday night, surprisingly enough. I went on Monday and I saw Roger Federer play for the very first time in my life. I've never seen him train. I love tennis. I live and breathe tennis. If I could play when I was a kid, like my dream would have to become pro. It's just it relieves so much stress in my life, and getting on the court, grabbing a racket and grabbing a tennis ball and just hitting with some mates, or just practicing matches or doing training, which I do every Thursday. Shout outs to my family on Thursday. You know who you are. It's just it's like there's no worries in the world, and it's just me on that court and just enjoying and having the best time of my life. So tennis is just a relief for stress for me anyway. And going to the AO, it was just like, you finish watching these matches, right? And you go home, you're like, bro, I'm going to be an amazing tennis player. And then you get on the court the day later and you're fucking trash. Like, that was me the entire time. Like, I get on court, like, so gassed, bro. I'm going to be the next Roger Federer. You get on and you're like, whoa, I can't even beat anyone, like, at all. It was so funny. But, yeah, going to the AO, it's changed so much I've been going since I think my very first one would have been 2010, 2011. I've got the towel from 2011, but I think I might have actually gone in 2010. So I've been on for like 8 years, and it's changed so much in terms of pricing, which sucks, because it used to be like $25 for a ground pass. It's now up to $50. You've got like all these new arenas, just renamed arenas, but they all have roofs. They've all got a lot of high quality food now, which is something that I didn't have back in the day. It was always just fried food, just crap. Now you've got like gourmet food. You've got Nobu at fucking AO. You go in your flex. It's so weird. And then you've got all these other crazy places that do like gourmet food with like food trucks and stuff like that. I want to go again this Sunday with my girlfriend, go and actually experience the ground pass, because last time we went on the Monday, we had the Rod Laver pass, which let us in at the night session, which meant we can get in after 5 for a ground pass. So if any of you guys are curious, if you do buy a night session, you can go after 5 and you can go suss some matches before actually Rod Laver starts. So we ended up watching Jordan Thompson, which he won, but then unfortunately he lost in the second round, which is unfortunate. But all these Australian players, man, they're absolute fucking animals. Damien Orr being one of my absolute favorite players at this point in time, because he has so much determination, so much courage, discipline, and he's quick. He is insanely quick. It reminds me of Nadal back when he was young. I know I'm getting a bit of a topic of tennis, but I really want to talk about AO because it's a really big thing. It's the first Grand Slam of the year. If you're not into tennis, I mean, you can skip to, I don't really know what you're going to skip to. But being AO, it's just modernized so much. Their advertising, their marketing, their business like overview, and the direction of the business of Australian Open has changed so much, and it's going in the freaking really, really good direction because it's so interactive. It's to a point where it still suits the older generation and the older crowd, like being my grandma. She's 65 or 66 or something, I think. Apologies if I'm wrong. She's around there, and she goes every year for like 5 days straight because she never, ever misses a Grand Slam. And she says it's so trendy now and it's so fun. And kids love going to the Australian Open. You've got tennis hot shots with all these kids playing like a little mini tennis with little rackets and really big, like really giant red big balls. But you have to hit it very hard for it to go somewhere. So being a little child, you just tap it and they just have a really great time. And there's so much more to do. There's like now they have a freaking Fortnite tournament. They have a Fortnite tournament at AO. You had to sign up and the winner gets like 100, I think it was 120 or 100K flat for the winner. And my mate like plays pretty good Fortnite and he said, bro, you just camp it to the very end and you just fucking tank it. It's ridiculous how much effort the AO is putting into being so trendy, really suiting the millennials and my generation specifically, being like in the mid-20s, early 20s. It's so fun. You go with a group of mates. You get pissed and you just watch a bunch of matches and everyone has a sick time. So went on Monday, that was great. I want to go back on Sunday. Might even watch some doubles if I can, and doubles is so underrated, bro. It is so entertaining because just reaction speed of people at the net is fucking ridiculous. Yeah. So AO, really, really, really good. I recommend for you guys to go, even if you don't watch tennis, and if you're in Melbourne and you don't watch it, just go, fork out $50 and spend the whole day. Just cruise around, grab a nice feed, chill with a bunch of mates, go with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and just enjoy the atmosphere of AO because it gets crowded. It gets more crowded every single year. They always break records for the amount of attendance because more people are more inclined to go because of such of the trendy stuff that's going on. So you always have like these like little funny environments where you can take photos where like the whole room's filled with tennis balls and like it's just really engaging. So shout outs to the AO fam. Shout outs to you gang. But so apart from that, other things that have been happening recently, since AO, I'm officially back in keto. I've been doing keto for, I think, coming up to the end of my third week. Oh, second week actually. Yeah, I've been on it for just under 2 weeks. Last week was a very, very hard week for me because it's just the point where I just eat so much shit, like carbs, like when everyone that's on keto, and there's difference between me and doing other people keto because I don't really eat a high amount of fat. I just eat like protein, fatty cuts of meat, but still that are grass fed. So, you're not getting any shit hormones within really crappy beef mince. Because I always get beef mince. I love mixing beef mince and broccoli. It's just such an easy meal. It's cheap. It's affordable. Beef mince, $8. You eat half of it. That's $4. Plus frozen broccoli. Hello. It's fucking gains on a plate for like $6. It's insane. So I'll eat fatty beef mince. I always I sometimes will get like a lean cut or like the lean beef mince, which is like 90% lean or 90% fat. And then you've got like full fatty beef mince. But it's really hard to find grass-fed 75% lean or something like that. So always try to go grass-fed because you're not going to get injected with a lot of fucking just added stuff that's not supposed to be in meat. I've heard recently, I think I read it somewhere, that meat actually is not red when you buy it from a shop. It's dyed. I don't know if that's true or not, but like when you see the meat in the actual, when you buy it in the fucking packet, whatever, and you see like the blood leaking, apparently that's dye. So I don't know if that's true. But other than that, I've been eating just beef mince and broccoli just all the time. It's just something I'm accustomed to. It's something that I love to eat. Surprisingly enough, I grew to love veggies, and that's something that was very hard for me. I also miss eating chicken and avocado. I would always shred chicken and eat avocado every single day in a big massive bowl. Half a chicken, one full avo, lemon, mayo. No, actually, no, don't put any mayo because it ruins the taste. Lemon or lemon juice and salt. You put a fuckload of salt and everything. People think salt's really bad. It's fucking not, especially if you're on keto and you're going to the gym and you're like me who sweats even right now in this point in time talking and sitting down. You're going to lose a lot of electrolytes and you need sodium. Sodium electrolytes, I believe, are combined of potassium, magnesium, I think magnesium, or potassium and sodium. So like when you're playing a sport or you're like sweating and you put like, like when when you lick your lips and you're sweaty and you get like that really, really salty taste, that's sodium, man. So it's always good to put salt on every single meal. I think I just go on a bit of a keto because a lot of people have been asking me about it and sometimes it doesn't work for everyone. Now, I'm not going to preach to everyone and say, hey man, go on fucking keto. It's the best fucking diet in the world. It's not. And one thing in particular, it is not a diet. It was a fad last year and even this year, it's a big, massive fad. People are like, it's a diet, it's trending, it's going to die. I'm on this place called Keto Gains. It's a Facebook group. There's people that have been doing keto for fucking 4 to 5 years. They just see it as it's a new way to look at food and a new form of life. Like, you just cut out one entire food group that is not needed for individuals like myself that don't benefit from those type of carbohydrates. Now, that's not to say carbohydrates is the devil. It's fucking not. Carbohydrates has its time and place, and it is very, very beneficial. I remember when I was off keto, I think it was in last May, and then I was going on and off, and just my discipline and motivation just went out the fucking window and went back to eating shit. And the thing with me is if I start eating shit, I stop going to the gym. I don't know why, but it's just something that I've learned to just ignore because you just don't eat shit food. But one thing to notice when I was eating clean and just not trying to eat refined carbohydrates and sugars are the absolute devil. I'd always have like an oat slice before I go to the gym, an oat slice and a sugar-free Monster. I remember that workout in particular. I believe it was in September. I swear to God, that was the best workout of my life because I had not eaten carbohydrates all year, going into an oat slice and a Monster sugar-free, which I always have all the time, which is not beneficial for me at all because it's fucked. That workout was absolutely amazing. My alertness, my energy, my motivation for some reason was just like, fuck, I can lift so much right now. I am so G'd. Give me some good weight. Put fucking everything on there and I can do it. That's not to say that I actually did do it, but you know what I mean. So in a sense that carbohydrates has its place in time. If you are the individual like my best mate who struggles to put on weight and eats and eats and eats and still can't put on weight, then in a sense, keto will not work for you at all. It does not work for that type of individual. It's for individuals more inclined on the endomorph scale. I believe it's the endomorph scale. I will get it up just to make sure. Endomorph. And that's what my body type is. It sucks. I know. Here we go. Let me go to the images. Because there's 3 body types that you guys should understand and should know. I learned this in high school. When I was doing PE. If my internet will work. And by the way, this is not alcohol. I don't drink alcohol anymore. So, yeah. Here we go. The 3 body types are ectomorph, which is a person with a very, very lean physique. Very lean, pretty much skinny. And those type of people where they classify themselves as skinny fat. Where everyone says, yeah, I would love to be like that. But no, because that's still not healthy. You're literally no muscle. You're just bone and skin and fat in really shit areas. Mesomorph, which is everyone's optimum physique, bro. Mesomorph has a combination of being able to shred and bulk at a really fast rate, but also have that leanness in a sense where you have that tiny waist. You can accentuate your back. It makes you look bigger. It's the optimum physique for athletes. If you're not mesomorph, and you're like someone who, I don't know, does like an athletic sport like football, for example, and football being Aussie rules, AFL, you'd want to be mesomorph, carry a bit of muscle, but still be pretty lean. Now myself, I fall on the endomorph scale where my metabolism is quite slow. I tend to put on weight very quickly. But that can be a good and a very bad thing, in a sense where, yeah, I put on a lot of weight eating a lot of shit, but if I was to lean down to the optimum weight that I want to be at and start from scratch, in a sense where I don't have much body fat, and then go in a really lean bulk and take my time putting on muscle, I would put it on a lot more quicker than people that are on the ectomorph scale. Whereas people that are ectomorph and very skinny, they tend to have a hard time putting on a lot of weight, and if they don't eat, they just start shredding, man, but in a really bad way. You start losing all your muscle and losing all the gains that you made in the gym. So those are just the 3 body types, and ketogenic diet, or the ketogenic way of eating, in a sense, it kind of really goes towards endomorph. You're the type of person with large body weights, large thighs, you just carry a lot of excess body fat, it'll work for you. Now, this is one thing that I read, or I saw a video on this guy, I can't remember exactly what it was. He was preaching about how the keto diet for people that fall on the endomorph scale, it'll work for them because their body prefers body fat. In the sense, it's a really, like, you think like, oh, I'm full of body fat, it's shit. But your body will rely on that. And this is coming from personal experience, someone who was on keto. My body just, right now, I'm not hungry. It's 2:30 in the afternoon and I am not hungry at all. I've had nothing to have. I've just had a Monster, sugar-free Monster, always sugar-free. Doesn't kick me out of keto. Sugar-free Coke Zero or Coke no sugar. This doesn't kick me out of keto. A shitload of water. And I'm so full to the point where I won't eat until 5 o'clock because it's not on my mind. Now, on the first week of being in this keto flu, yes, you're going to absolutely hate your life. It is disgusting. It is so bad. You get headaches. You get freaking mood swings. You get so agitated. For me, I was pretty anxious as well, to the point where I was really just about to cave in and start emotionally eating. But I was like, you know what? That was the old me. I spoke about this in my last video. That was the old me. I took a step back, and looked at myself and think, bro, this works for me. Just put in the fucking effort, suck it up, and get through this week because it gets better. And today, feeling beautiful, feeling amazing. I'm down 4 kilos, 4.5, I believe, off the top of my head, it was 4.5 kilos. Most of it is water weight. So this is where all the water weight from all the water that's like actually within your skin. So if you're very inflated in your face and you feel really just bloated in the face, a lot of it is from excess water, especially if you're eating a lot of carbs and sodium and water. That's like a really shit combo because it goes all to your skin. You start getting really puffy and that all just disintegrates when you're on keto. That's mainly where all the first 5 kilos go. And you'll be peeing shitloads. I peed so much. We're to a point where, dude, it's so annoying because I have to get up and pee every single 20 minutes. It's ridiculous. But right now, I think I'm in a really good position because I'm doing pretty good at the gym. It's to the point where I'm starting to get to the weight I was before in terms of lifting. So I'll get into some details right now. This is for all my people who are into the gym. And if you're not, I just highly recommend to do it. It's something that's really, really helps me with my anxiety so much. I think it was 2 sessions ago. It was a really bad session for me. It was just a lot on my mind to the point where I was going to tear up in the gym. I told my girlfriend, I don't know what's wrong with me and I don't want to talk. The whole session, I did not speak once. Thinking back now, I don't know what was on my mind. It was really shit. And I don't know if keto had to do something with it. Probably not. But it was just a lot of shit on my mind. And looking back at it now, it was pointless. It was stupid. And worthless. It's just energy wasted on just stupid thoughts. So going back to the gym today, definitely going to focus a lot more and just get back to the normal weight. So I saw a comment on my last video on someone who said that, and shout out to you, man, whoever it was, I can't quite remember, but this comment really got to me. It was that, hey man, you might be at the same weight that you started with when you first started, but you look way different. Your face still looks really lean. And don't forget, you put on a lot of muscle compared to when you started before. And that is a great point to make. And looking back at it now, I was like, dude, why did I not think of that? It's just something that it's so obvious that I don't think about it. And that is, when I first started the gym, and this is to everyone who's never been before, it's very, very frightening to go, I know, but you need, straight out, you need to fucking suck it up. Because everyone every single individual that you see in the gym, if they're huge, they've started somewhere. They would have been ultra fat. They would have been super obese or on the chubby side, or they would have been absolutely skinny, borderline anorexic. And for them going to the gym, that takes a lot of courage. So if they can do it, anyone can. So for me, I was always the type of person where I did go gym once or twice when I was in high school. It wasn't something that was really on my mind. And then after high school had finished, my mates started going to the gym. And I was like, all right, my mates are going, maybe I should go as well. And my best mate had known that he was so skinny that he was like, you know what? I need to start making a change, start going to the gym. And this guy has put on so much muscle in the past like 4 or 5 years. It's ridiculous. Like, super proud of my mate. And he's been going for ages. And he's on the ectomorph scale where he was super skinny and he finds a really hard time to put on weight and he eats like a fucking cow. This cunt, sorry, I don't want to say the C word, but this dickhead eats so much freaking food that I'm so jealous. But that's not the point. He was going to the gym a lot and I was like, you know what, maybe I should go. I went for a period of like 2 years, just really on and off. I would go for 3 months. I would have a break for 6. I'd go back for 3. That was like the longest time I've ever been to the gym. It was 3 months. 12 weeks. Then I would see a bit of progress and then I would stop. And I don't know why. So I kind of had a taste for what the gym was like. And I went to this gym around somewhere near my house. And it's so dirty. It is disgusting, bro. It was... When I first went, I think I was 19, it was $1.10 entry. Yes. You'd pay $1.10 and you get as long as you want. And they have everything, but weights are in the wrong spot. There's only like 2 squat racks. There's just dirty people with no towels, sweat everywhere. It was really gross. But I mean, if you're that old school gym type person where you like a warehouse, you like dirty environment, I mean, that'll work for you, I guess. But I went there, then the price went up to $2.20. Whoa, big, massive fucking jump, $2.20. And now looking back at it now, I wish I went for a lot longer. That's with everything. Like, I wish I went to the gym for a lot longer than I did. I was making progress. So I had a taste of that. And then I joined Derrimut. And yes, and be like, fuck it, Derrimut, bro. Really? Like, everyone goes Derrimut. Because it's good. It is such an amazing gym. They've got everything that I need. And I don't use any of the accessory movements, like all the cable machines, or I don't use any of that because of my 5x5. I literally always use the squat rack, the bench, and that's it. Squat rack and bench, because you can deadlift, bench over row, bench, overhead press. That's it. And they've got like 20 of them. It's insane. So I'm getting a bit of a ramble. Why am I talking about this? Is because people that don't know, they're just scared to go to the gym just because they're so afraid of being judged. Everyone goes and they don't care what everyone else is doing. Yes, there's those type of people that like they're one of those really, really regulars that every time you go, you always see them there. And they're always looking at other people like, oh, what are other people doing? How much are they lifting? Maybe I should lift that. But those are the type of people you just ignore and you're like, fuck off, man. You're not making any gains. I'm here to focus on myself. You're here to make friends and to just socialize. The gym's not to socialize. It's to make gains. That's literally what the point of a gym is. If you want to socialize, go to fucking F45 or F40. That's stupid CrossFit shit. Whereas you go to the gym, you do it. So go for the first time. I just highly recommend you go. You suss the place that you want to go to. I always recommend just doing like a 7-day trial. Just see the environment and see if it's actually worth signing up to. Because there's these small gyms, these really, they're small gyms, but they're such a big franchise, like Anytime, like Jets, all these type of places. They're very, very small and they don't have much to offer. Like, yeah, they'll say you've got all these classes you can do and they milk you in with all these classes, but you're not going to do them. Like for me, with Derrimut, they've got boxing classes, they've got yoga classes, they've got cardio classes, they've got HIIT classes, they've got all this stuff that I'm not going to do. And I knew signing up, like you see like all these, you can do like all these classes, you got yoga class. Dude, I'm not going to do that. Like maybe if you're the type of person, yeah, you can do that, but I'm not going to. Not in a million years. It's not for me. So ignore that. If you go to a gym, make sure you just suss the equipment. Is it good equipment? Is it actually worth using? So, and just try a couple at least. Go to a couple gyms and make sure, I mean, now it might be the good time to go because it's the new year. Every gym is packed because of the new sales that they have. At the end of every year, the gym always has a sale, whether it be like pay up front $300 and you get the whole year, or pay $10 a fortnight, and that's what I pay. And you get, like, my existing contract I got in November of 2017, and it's just existing. I will never ever cancel it because it's the best deal that I got, and I'm going to stick with it. So even if I don't go to gym, like, which I didn't for like 2 months, I was still paying because I knew I was going to go back, and I knew that that deal was too good to be true to not cancel. So if you're going for the first time, just go on the treadmill, just walk for a bit, and just get used to being a bit uncomfortable. Now, humans don't like being uncomfortable. I'm in that same boat, but you get used to it. And now going into the gym, I don't like, it's just second nature to go in, get it done, have a great time, and love it. And you feel amazing after it. Like, the amount of for me, the amount of testosterone that goes through my body and the amount of just endorphins that go through my body, I'm just like, whoa, I feel amazing. Rather sometimes I'll be absolutely wrecked because it was a really hard session, but I knew I had a good session. I knew I got something out of it. And I was going through like celebrity transformations because I was watching a lot of Rocky Balboa. I've never watched Rocky in my life, and I went and watched Creed 1 and 2. So a bit of a rookie move by me. So me and my girlfriend watched all of the Rocky series, and I understand why it was such a big thing, because it's an amazing series. It's actually one of my favorite. It's just insane. Love Sylvester Stallone. Does an amazing job, especially because he directed and written it as well. I think he directed a couple of them. But nevertheless, when I was watching those, I was something in particular. Oh, I was going on a bit of a ramble, and then I forgot. Man, I lost my train of thought with this Rocky shit, fam. What the hell? Oh, the celebrity transformations. That's right. A lot of them are fake. I'm putting that right there on the table. A lot of them are fucking fake. A lot of them just crack a lot of steroids because they need to get in shape within a couple months. Prime example was fucking Ben Affleck. He said he put on like 30 pounds of muscle in a month. It's impossible. That is literally impossible. You can maybe put on 30 pounds in a month if you eat like a cow and you fucking just eat so much food to the point where you're vomiting and maybe going to the gym. But that is impossible to put on 30 pounds of muscle in a month. No. So maybe steroid use, I don't fucking know. But one in particular was who the fuck? So I don't watch Wolverine. Who plays Wolverine, fam? Everyone's gonna yell at me. Wolverine. Here we go. Is it Russell? Is it Russell? Hugh Jackman. Fucking idiot. Hugh Jackman is a prime example of someone who is determined, disciplined, because he is so lean and so buff. It is ridiculous. And he even said so himself. He trained like every day for like 4 hours every single day, eating rice, chicken, and broccoli every single day for months on ends, and just training really, really hard, because that's their job. Don't forget. Like if you pull up to a role, so you play Wolverine, you're topless most of the movie. You've got to be lean all the time. You got to look huge. You have to look mean. Now, one particular fight scene, I don't know which specific movie it is because I haven't watched any of the Wolverine movies. I don't know if it was the last one, but it was in one fight scene with a ninja or something, and he had vascularity that was on another level. He went into detail and said for that specific scene, he had to do a dehydration diet or a dehydration fast. So a lot of bodybuilders would do this a couple days prior to their show. They will not drink water. They will not eat anything. So this is relative in terms of keto, where you will lose a lot of water weight. But this is really, really excessive. Like, Hugh Jackman even said so himself, this is dangerous. I do not recommend anyone to try this, because he said he had never experienced a migraine in his entire life in that point in time. That was ridiculous. And that scene as well, he said his migraine was so excessive in that scene, he just had to put up with it. And it was just for that one scene. So being on that water fast, just show just crazy amounts of vascularity. Your skin looks very elastic, and it shows like a sense of elasticity in your skin. Like you peel your skin and it just like rips off like fucking paper. Like it's just peeling, and it's just like, what the hell? It's just from not having water. So getting back to the whole celebrity thing, one celebrity in particular, who was it? So I'm trying to remember, why was I talking about celebrities, fam? I always lose my train of thought, man, when I get off site topic, fam. Fuck me. Transformations, blah, 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 blah. I don't really know where I was going to go with this. But, yeah. Most of them are fake. And, yeah. I'm trying to think what else it was, man. I had one, like, idea and a problem in my mind I was just thinking about. This is why I've got to write everything down. Oh, my God. I started doing, like, this bullet journal. So, if you guys don't know where bullet journal started in, like, 2013. This dude literally just created a journal with a bunch of fucking lines in it. It's just a grid. And then you've got, like, other ones which are dots. So, I'm just going to go into this because it's something I've been doing. So, the bullet journal, you kind of just lay out your months. And so right now I've got like a future log, and it's got every single month. There is nothing in any of them because I just don't really know what to put in them yet. But it's very personalized. You can do them like however way you want. But I just really followed some of them on YouTube and went into detail with like some of them. In I think like the main bullet journal is that you put the month at the top of the page, then you put 1 to 31 on one side of the page, like on the very left hand side. You put 1 to 31, and then next to it you put the first letter of the day next to it. So Tuesday being T, Wednesday W, you get the idea. And then there you put like the event for that day. So for example, the 14th of January being a Monday, I put Australian Open 2019 because that's when it started and that's where I was going. Some of them I've got like stuff that I have to pay. So on the 21st of January on a Monday, I've got an afterpay that's $60. I know that day I've got to pay it. I've got my my phone bill due on a certain day. Fuck that shit, so expensive. And then the day like the next page next to it, you put tasks. So in that month, you will put whatever tasks you have to do, like anything that comes to your mind, like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I've got to do this. Everything, you write it down, and there is a legend that you can use. So a dash means a task that you need to do. A circle is an event. I've got the legend at the very start. You can all find this shit online, man. I really highly recommend this because I feel so organized doing this. An asterisk is an important task, and a dash means notes. So maybe instead of a dash, I should have put a dot. I should probably change that. So just an example of tasks in January. I had one for deliver Converse in a 500 gram satchel. So I sold my Converse lows. I knew I had to send them off. Another one is clean and wash my Supra because it was super dirty. I did half that task yesterday and I was super lazy. I went through the laser wash, but it's actually really good. So now I've got to hand wash it and I've got to vacuum the inside. That's another task I need to do this month. Another one is new pens. I know it's very, very specific, but it's something that works for me because the pen that I'm using for this is not working. So it's simple as that. I know. Another one here, we've got Memento Mori tattoo, Memento Vivier tattoo. That's something I want this month. Whether all these tasks will be accomplished or not this month is based on yourself. If you don't get it done, when you start doing your next month over, then you put in February and then you transfer all the tasks that were in January and you overload them onto February along with your new tasks. And then there's a point where you can add like an arrow on those previous tasks to move on to another one. It's very confusing. So just be very mindful of yourself and how you want to present the bullet journal. A lot of them online on YouTube are very they're so girly because a lot of them are females and a lot of them are doing it from an artistic point of view, which I can, hands down, a lot of females are very, very artistic. And when I see these online, it is insane how beautiful they look. And I am nothing compared to an artistic person. I have really shit handwriting. I can draw stick figures and even then they're a little bit crooked. So, I keep it very simple, very minimal, and that's it. Another page I've got on here is motivation quotes. So this whole 2-page I've dedicated, I will show on the camera for you guys if you guys can see. But I've got in the middle motivation quotes, and this is something I'm going to fill every single month. Well, not every single month, So this will be for January, and I've got in the top left-hand corner Jan edition, and then when February comes around, I will put Feb edition. So anything that you guys see, anything you see about, like, just write it down. So for instance, I've got here, this is really, really good quote. It's very, everyone's heard of it, I know, but it just works. It's nobody is going to hit as hard as life, but if it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Very, very infamous line from Rocky Balboa, from Sylvester Stallone. And I've got there the movie or where it is and who wrote it. So that's a really great quote, because nothing hits as hard as life. It is simple as that. But if you get down, just get back up and you keep moving forward. And that's something that I've really taken on a board with myself in terms of my anxiety. It's kicked me down. It's put me to a point, it's put me in my lowest point in my life where I'm so, disisolated from just everyone. I didn't want to go to events. I didn't want to hang out with any of my friends, and they took note of that. But now I've just brushed it aside. Fuck it. Just fuck it. Go out, be with your friends, have a good time, and you feel so much better about yourself. So that's a really great quote that I took on board. Another one is from A Great Dictator, which I actually haven't seen the film for. I just went on like a motivation video, just binge. I don't know why. You know, when you just watch one video and then it's recommended for all these other ones. I found this one from The Great Dictator, and it's "We think too much, feel too little." I just think that really applied to me. Another one which I actually spoke about in my previous video, from Mac Miller, "And you don't know that sunshine don't you know that sunshine don't feel right when you're inside all day." So that's a really prime example of, it's a beautiful day outside, but you're depressed, you're anxious, you're sad indoors where you don't see sunlight. You're just in a really dark room, in a really dark place. So I think that really, really got to me. And one that I found recently, I know I'm talking about all of them, but I really think it could help you guys, especially with trying to take that big leap of faith, whether it be going to the gym, whether it be starting a new job, whether it be just getting motivated. It's just a really great tool to use. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is forever. That's one thing I just literally came up on the top of my mind. I legit should write that down, fam. But yeah, motivation is temporary. It's something that it doesn't last, but discipline as an individual will last forever. And that is keto for me. Keto is a very disciplinary thing for me, because you're cutting out a whole entire beautiful food group. Whoa, Jesus Christ. It's like 40 fucking kilometer winds outside, fam. What the hell? Back to it though. Kicking out one entire beautiful food group that tastes beautiful and replacing it with just protein and veggies and stuff. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that. So that's one thing I've taken on board. But one great quote, which I actually saw at the tennis, just when I was about to record this specific podcast, I was watching the Wawrinka and Raonic match, which is actually on the side if you guys can't see it. And I don't know what the score is, but I really want to know. But it's actually showing a replay. When they were walking out onto the court, I saw Raonic walk out last, and I saw something in the back of, like, right behind him, and it's the Hall of Fame that they walk through onto Rod Laver. And you see all the champions and how many Grand Slams they've won. Shout out to Roger Federer, the fucking GOAT. But I saw this quote on the back of the wall, just right there. It was just so in sight, and I saw it, and I was like, reading it, and I was like, yo, that is hectic. I'm going to write that down. It is, "Whenever you're ahead, never let up." And that's from Rod Laver. That is a really, really deep and simple quote, because whenever you're ahead in life, don't ever let go of the gas and just take a minute. Like, if you're on a high, let's say, for instance, you're on tennis, right? If you're up 2-0, which a lot of players have done this current tournament and actually tanked and lost in 5, a lot of them will go up 2-0 and they will take a breather. I'll be like, oh, I need to chill. I'm up 2-0. What's the worst that could happen? Bro, you know what the worst can happen is? You go to 5 sets and you go for an extra freaking 3 hours on court because you let off the gas. So that's one big quote from Rod Laver, which really applied to me. And you can apply that to life. If you're like on a high and you're doing so many good things, and let's say, for instance, on YouTube, you're pushing out so many videos, don't let off the gas. Keep going, because you don't know what's going to happen. Something beautiful will happen from just grinding and getting ahead. So yeah, and that's something with tasks. If you get ahead in your tasks, eventually you're going to have none there and you're going to be like, whoa, that's amazing. But you got to have more tasks. You got to think about more. What other stuff you need to do. So that's just a bit of a ramble on the bullet journal. I think it'll really apply to everyone who really wants to get organized in 2019. I know January is the month where everyone's like, oh, I want to get organized. I want to get shredded. I want to get lean. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's a lot of talking, but not enough action. And that's something that, the bullet journal has really helped for me. I'm nowhere near finished. There's other concepts that I want to apply from other people that have done it and want to apply it to my own. Whereas you can do there's like a habit table. So you have a tally or like a graph, and you've got every single day of the month in that graph, and you highlight that day for whenever you do that specific habit. So it's a really good thing because I think it takes 66 days for a habit to become your second nature. So let's take, for example, getting up at 7:30 every single morning. That's something I'm trying to do. Lately, I've been off the wagon because it was the weekends, going to the tennis, getting pretty late. So it's a habit I'm really trying to form. Now I'm going to apply that to my table or my table of habits. That's what I even could call it, table of habits. And then you've got on the left the habit, so waking up at 7:30. And then you put on every single day, and then you highlight in whatever shade you want. So in red, you highlight that box for, yes, I did that habit today. Tomorrow, keep it up. And you try to keep going consistently, and you get to see, just because every day goes by, you don't get to see what you actually did. Yeah, you can reminisce and think about it, but some of the stuff you just forget. So seeing it on a table, seeing it laid out right in front of you, you really get to see what your life is actually going through and what you're actually doing within your tasks and your habits. So I highly recommend that, dude. Just Google bullet journal layouts or bullet journal designs and stuff, and you'll get a really good idea and concept of what it's like to do. Now that we've got all that out of the way, I don't even know how long I've been going for. 40 minutes, mate. Woo! That's so good. Not even onto the touchy subject yet, but we're going to get into it straight away, man. And that is mental health and why it exists in the first place. Why does it exist for me? Why do people go through so much shit? And the reason behind everything. Now, for me, ever since I was a kid, I was always just overthinking shit. I was always just thinking the worst of every single situation, but not just one thought. It was always a countless amounts of thoughts, situations, what's going to happen if I do this, what will happen if I don't do this. And one primary thing for me in particular is what is the future? What does the future hold for me? Now, I'm super scared to go into full-time work. I've taken a break. I've been at school and doing education for 17 years or 18 years. It's time to take a break. It's time to reevaluate myself, reevaluate my physique, reevaluate my YouTube. Just really think about other things and get on top of everything that's in my life first before going into full-time work. I want to be in my optimum health, both mentally and physically before going to a full-time job, and be happy with my life prior to going in. And everyone says you work 9 to 5, you're going to be fucking miserable. That's one thing I don't want to do. I do not want to work a 9 to 5 where I'm miserable. I hate my life. It sucks. I want to die every single day. That is something that, no, it doesn't work for me. It's not going to work for me. I want to work for a company that will not only appreciate me as an individual and appreciate my type of work and my enthusiasm, but not make us fucking miserable. Just go, you work, you enjoy what's going on, you enjoy what you're doing at work, but you can also make new friends. Your team supports you. You get around a new team that you can start getting inspiration from. And that's something that you can get inspired by everyone that's around you. A lot of this whole surrounding yourself with positive individuals will make you a positive individual is so true. You hang around a really shit group of people, do drugs, drink fucking heaps every single day, unemployed, broke, do fuck all with their life. You're going to be in that same boat eventually. Whether you think it or not, you're going to be. So if you surround yourself with very successful individuals, very intellectual individuals, very inspired, positive, motivated, disciplinary type individuals, you will become a part of that. And that's something that we all want to strive in life. And as hard as it is, you need to surround yourself with them. And whether or not you like to get out and socialize, you need to. So that's something I'm trying to do recently, get back into the rhythm of just, hang out with my mates, just have a laugh, have a great time. So for instance, yesterday we went to wheelchair tennis. So my squad on Thursday, oh, I love them all. They're fucking amazing people. I've been at that squad with like 12 of us, 10 of us, 12 of us. I've been going to that squad for years. Since I can remember, I've been at that squad, and we all went out, or most of us went out to wheelchair tennis. And I literally played wheelchair tennis for the first time, and it was so fun. It was just like, you see how hard it is to play wheelchair tennis. It is ridiculously hard. My triceps, my fingertips were fucking hurting. Not to mention, I see the ball, I'm trying to go to it, and I'm just not going because I can't move, because I need to move the chair in order to get the ball. And you see these professional wheelchair players, and you look at them and you're like, dude, it looks so easy, because for them, it's second nature. And it was just a really good, day, in a sense that I was like, yo, I finally got to see what it was like from the other side, like, of tennis. Because there's, wheelchair tennis, and you've got just normal tennis that we play, but you never ever see wheelchair tennis. So, and then just hanging out with all my friends and just having a laugh and having a great time, it really, really helped for me mentally, because it was just like, it was really hard to explain, like, having laughing and like people ripping out jokes and just enjoying company. It just helps so much. Like, being stuck inside all day, like months on end, it's not good. It's not good at all. So whether you go out, just go to a park and just enjoy sunlight, that's even a prime example of getting out and having fun. Whether it be to read a book, which I'm starting to, I need to actually just go out and buy a book, which fucking so lazy. Not to mention I'm broke, because I can't go out and just buy a book, like, legit. Fucking, after a student, bro, then you're freaking broke, because then you can go out and find a job. So that's one thing I want to get into a habit to as well. But going on to the topic of like friends and stuff, just go out and have fun and just enjoy people's company, because that you have to really appreciate that day, because that day will not come by again. So it was one thing I was thinking about, like, dude, this day is not gonna, it's gonna end. So enjoy it while it lasts. So that was one thing I really wanted to keep my eye on and just think about when I was there yesterday. And why do people why does mental health exist in the first place? Like, people thought in like the 60s and the 70s and like back in the olden days, like, if you had a sense of schizophrenia or you were depressed, people thought you were fucking weird, you were a freak, you need to get the fuck out. Now, it's really good now that a lot of people are a lot more open to it. People are a lot more supportive. I believe this year's Australian Open is sponsored by Beyond Blue, and they've actually got like a facility at AO, which is whoa, like that's, it's weird to say, like, I feel proud that Beyond Blue actually went out and is now sponsored at AO. It can help individuals, especially when you've got like millennials and people in their 20s, mid 20s, young, and even people in their teens going to such a trendy Grand Slam environment like the Australian Open and being able to be supported by Beyond Blue is just an amazing thing to do. So really appreciative of that. But why it doesn't exist in the first place? I think this is one thing that's been on my mind over the last like month. I think in particular, the main reason why is for social media and the internet. Back in the day when my parents were my age or even younger, they would just like go to their mate's house and just have a laugh. And you would never ever communicate through a text message. You never just, sending an email was non-existent. Like, no, and they wouldn't send letters either. They ran into their friend like in the middle of the stream, like, oh, all right, I'll see you Friday, whatever time. Boom, done. That's it. But like now, like, yeah, you have a lot of online friends and stuff, yeah. But I think it's the sense of being so self-conscious online. And yeah, there's people that make fake accounts and just roast everyone. But sometimes that roasting can go a bit overboard to the point where that individual can be like, okay, I'm a little bit taken back by this. I'm a little bit offended. maybe some people like over exaggerate, but you don't know the person. So, and I think there's like a lot of expectation for people to flex on the gram, to post like all these beautiful photos of them in their bikinis and look so good on the gram. It's a lot of fucking expectation for someone so young to put out so many good photos like that constantly, where people, from my point of view, see Instagram and see you on that particular photo. Me now, or even before, like Instagram was like, when I got into Instagram, I knew that every single photo I saw, bro, I don't know what the backstory behind this is. This person could be absolutely fucking faking it. That's not what they look like. A lot of it is Facetune. A lot of it is just Photoshop. But the one thing in particular is if this girl posts this really, really hectic photo of her in a bikini and flexing a fucking, her body parts in particular, that chick could be depressed. That chick could be suffering from anxiety. You don't know that because of the expectation that she has of posting such, photos of that quality. I'm trying to word this really well, and I'm doing a really bad job. So I think just the internet in general is just playing a really big role within millennials. So, and people my age, like especially YouTubers, like having that constant reminder of you need to post, you need to post, you need to post, you need to post quality content, you need to make sure it's good enough, you need to make sure that the people love it. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of weight on people's shoulders. Like, you may see like the video and you'd be like, oh, it's a sick video, they look so enjoyable, like whatever, but you don't know what goes behind. You don't know what is behind closed doors. I think that's the term I use all the time. Like if you see someone that's like really upset and you're like, they're having a really, really shitty day at work and they take it out on you and they're a super asshole to you and you're like, whoa, all right, fuck off, I don't want to talk to you. Maybe think back for a minute and say, hey, maybe actually something did happen. Like there's always a reason for someone to act so shitty. Then there's obviously those type of people where you've got those people that go into retail, they go into the shops and they treat employees like shit. They're like, hey, fuck you, give me that shit. They're those type of people where it's just a really bad personality and just ignore them. But then there's those type of people like me where I'll have like a really bad mood swing and I'll take it out on my girlfriend and I don't mean to. And then I feel bad and then it's just like, hey, I can't do anything about it now. Like the time has passed. Like I can't dwell on the past. Like she's upset at me. And it's just a constant ball rolling of just pure shitness. That's literally how I can put it. And then thinking back at it now, maybe just, hey, like think about what's actually going on behind the closed doors. So if you see a friend that's like, having a really shit time, they're not being so active, maybe they're not engaging with you, talking with you as much as they used to, maybe, just ask them, hey, is everything okay? Is there something wrong? Has something happened? Did I do something to offend you? Has something been going on that I don't know about? Just talk to me. And I know for someone that suffers from anxiety, it's very, very hard to open up about certain stuff. It's coming from personal experience. Whenever there's like a conflict or like my girlfriend says, hey, what's wrong? Come on, talk to me. Like all these thoughts, all these ideas in my mind are just flowing at not a constant rate, at a tremendous fast rate, and I just can't spit it out. My mouth is shut. It's like someone, locked my mouth and threw away the key and I can't talk. And there's something that you just need to overcome. I've seen a lot of individuals tell me that therapy works a lot because, like I said before, talking to a stranger like myself, if you guys DM me and speak about what's been happening to me, it's kind of like that sense of therapy because I don't know you. I don't know what the hell is going on with you. I don't know anything about you. I just know the situation that you've given me and what we can do to accomplish it. So a lot of people said therapy works so much. Whether I will do it, I'm not quite sure about. I'm still iffy on it just because maybe if I focus on my physique first, getting myself, fit and back to the optimum weight that I was and back to being as fit as I was, I won't need it. If I do in the future, maybe I will. A lot of it's free in Australia. There's a certain company, I don't remember what it was exactly called, but they help for people under 25 and it's free and you get free therapy, which is amazing. It's just so supportive. And that's one thing, like, you feel so alone, like, all the time. And it's just like, you always think, oh, I'm so alone. No one wants to talk to me, but that's not the case. All you need to do is just reach out to someone. And when I posted that video, there was so many individuals that reached out to me and said, hey man, you are not alone. Like, we as a viewer and we as a subscriber support you no matter what. If you ever need to talk about the situations that you're in, just talk about it. Like, we're not going to judge you. And that was one thing going into that video, pressing that upload and just waiting for it to load. One thing on my mind was, how are you guys going to take it? Like, are you guys going to be like, you're a little bitch, suck it up? And that was one comment I saw. And I said, suck my fucking dick. One comment was literally, suck it up, bro. Fuck off, man. Honestly, suck it up. If you tell someone that's depressed to suck it up, you know what they might do the day after? They might fucking kill themselves. Like, you don't know what people go through. And seeing all these positive reactions from so many individuals. And I know I couldn't reply to everyone. I didn't reply to anyone on my comments on my YouTube, but I replied to every single DM. I spent like 3 hours going through every single person because I wanted to know what people were going through. I wanted to know how I could help. And I wanted to know what they thought of the video and ways to combat this. So that was one thing that I thought about when I was uploading that video. But looking back at it now, it was one of the greatest things I could ever do. Like, I did not regret posting that video. One thing I was so unaware of was how many people close to me actually saw it. And I was like taken aback. I need mouth's a little bit raspy. Like, for instance, my squad gang on Thursday, I didn't expect any of them to see it. No one. They're my family. Like, I'll do anything for every single one of those people in that squad. I classify them as pretty much, like I said, my family. And when they saw it, and like a lot of them just DM me and message me separately and say, hey, like we kind of known that you've been so distant and been hesitant to come to squad. Like, is everything okay? And we spoke about everything, and everything's good. Like, it's just amazing that now everyone knows. It's a lot of weight off my shoulder in particular. Not being able to dwell on, like, I have this issue, but I can't speak about it to everyone. Is everyone going to judge me over it? Nah, man. That's not the case. No one judges. Like, a lot of people are so supportive, and they're like, you know what? We're here, man. Like, you have all the support in the world. And that's something that I was so unaware of. And now going on to ways to combat this, like whether it be being depressed, whether it be super anxious, depression and anxiety just go hand in hand. And that's like a lot of people that DM me were just like, I've been suffering from depression, I have a lot of anxiety, like I've been doing this to help. A lot of them say, hey, medication works. I know it's such like a negative connotation, something so negative to look upon. Like, you need medication to be able to function. Some of them say, hey, it works. Some doesn't. It just depends on the individual. Some of them take it and then eventually they don't rely on it. Oops, I just shake that for no reason, but I'm going to have a sip again anyway. That was another one. Therapy was another one. Going out for walks, as simple as it is. Put on a nice tune. Put on a nice podcast, like your VerdugoVibes podcast. Shout out to the VerdugoVibes gang. Going for just a simple walk for 20 minutes to half an hour. Just getting a breathe. That's something that really, really helps a lot of people. I've still yet to implement that just because I've been super busy, just like playing tennis so much. That's like my form of therapy. Just playing tennis and just being so gassed from AO, watching all these tennis matches, and playing just takes my mind off everything. It's like I'm just in that point in time enjoying getting shredded at the same time and having a great time. It works. So going out for a walk, one primary example, form that could work for anything is just going to the gym. Your body releases so many endorphins, so many hormones. Just your body works in it's such a complicated way that as soon as you lift weights, man, everything changes. And one particular quote, which I don't remember, it was a while ago, was like, once you start the gym, you are never ever satisfied with your body. And that is completely true. Like, you start, you get lean, you're like, fuck yeah, that's good. Let's get leaner. And then you keep going and going, and you're like, all right, I'm lean. Now let's get big. Let's get huge. Let's put on some muscle. And you keep going and you're going and you're going, and you don't stop. Going on the treadmill, which I don't really recommend. I'd rather you go out to a track. Or I was speaking to my friend Ryan. We were speaking for like 3 hours on DMs, man. Just talk on Facebook, just like messaging about gym, like what ways can we combat this, like just form of like gym and how gym works and stuff. It was a really, really sick conversation, man. I fucking loved it. One thing he said was treadmill is shit. Don't do treadmill because it's a lot harder because you're just walking in the same spot. You're not moving anywhere. Whereas you go out and you just walk on the street, you go to an actual track and you just walk and it's almost meditate. That works so much more. It works a lot more on your body because your body gets accustomed to the outside environment. Whether you go on a really, really hot day, it's whether you go on a really hot day or a really, really cold day, your body will be accustomed to it. Whereas you go to a gym and you go on a treadmill, it's air conditioned. It's the same temperature no matter what day it is. So that is another form. Gym, highly, highly recommended. Going out and just going for a walk. Meditation as well. I know nothing about meditation, so I'm a little bit confused on it. A lot of people said to me that meditation works so much, it gives your brain a breathe. Especially when your brain's so overloaded with thoughts, having that second thought in the back of your mind just constantly, having a form of meditation just works really well. I know on Spotify, there's like some meditation playlists or like podcasts for meditation. I did one a while ago. It was ages ago. It was last year when I first posted that, when I had like that little rant in one of my October or September favorites or whatever. When it was like a really, really bad time, I did meditation where I would sit in my room. I would just lay in bed. It was just before I went to bed, and I'll talk about another form of meditation that I do now. But I did this one. It was on Spotify, and it was this lady. Like, the voice is just so calming. Oh my god, it's so soft, and they think about your certain thoughts, what's going through your mind, and just think about this certain situation. Oh my god, man, I'm just like, holy shit, this voice is amazing. Like, it was so good. But I think one thing I can take back from that meditation session was that they pictured, they say, close your eyes and picture somewhere happy. Picture the happiest place you've ever been to. And the first thing I thought was Tokyo. I was like, Shibuya Crossing, Tokyo. I can visualize myself right then and there at the middle of Shibuya Crossing on a Friday afternoon, still bright outside. Just plenty of people, and visualizing the individuals within Tokyo and the amount of crazy fits that they had. That was what I was visualizing at that point in time. And then she said, like, visualize 3 keys. One for like the most happiest place, Tokyo. Another one, which was Thursday night. And another one was with my girlfriend every single day. That was just like these keys that unlock to those events, and think about that event time and time again. And then after it, I was like, whoa, I feel so pleasant, or just so relieved and just peaceful. So that's one thing I really, really should go back to. It was just really good. It was one session, dude, and just do it again. It'll be so good. A lot of people recommend yoga. Yoga is another form of meditation, and just stretching out your body in ways which has never been stressed before. Doing certain movements and thinking about your breathing and breathing techniques and stuff, which is something I'm going to in a sec. My gym actually has yoga classes, but my girlfriend works, and I'm not going to go alone to a yoga class. I'd rather go like me and my girlfriend. It's like 10 a.m. on like a Wednesday, like when it's just impossible to go to. But my form of meditation that I do was something I just implemented recently. It's using the Fitbit. Now, I recently just got the Fitbit Versa, and yeah, it's a smartwatch. It's a little fucking gimmick, whatever. It just measures steps. It measures a lot more than that. I don't have my phone on me because I don't like to use my phone on recording, but this actually really, it shows you what you've been, how you've slept that certain day, to a point where you go into REM, which I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's the light form of sleep, deep sleep, when you're actually awake. And even though you might not remember that you were awake, but it will say, hey, you were awake for like 5 minutes. You got no sleep that time. And then light sleep, deep sleep, and awake. and they all have their, obviously awake. That's something you really don't want to be. But most people are awake for 30 to 60 minutes every time you sleep. Like, you may not remember it, but you're awake the whole time. Not the whole time, sorry. For those 30 to 60 minutes, you might be awake, obviously in broken periods. The less is better. So, light sleep, I can even, you know what? I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring the microphone with me, fam. I'm going to get my phone so we can keep talking, fam. I always like on the app, you always sync at the start of the morning, and I actually forgot to sync today. So you've got the Fitbit app, which I need to get up for you guys. It's actually an amazing tool. I don't know, like my girlfriend got it first, and I was like, you know what, I'll sus. It's probably just a pedometer on fucking steroids, because that was one of my PE teacher kept saying that. Never get like a Fitbit, because it's just to see how much you walk. That's it. But this Fitbit Versa, it was only like 220 Australian. I got on Afterpay. It'll show you your resting heart rate, which mine is at 70 resting heart rate. Right now it's about 95, just from talking and just moving about. Just then, literally. But if I was to sync up, right, I can sync up and see where my sleeping was. So for today, last night, I slept for 7 hours and 47 minutes. I unfortunately went to bed at 2 a.m. and got up at 11 because I knew I had nothing to do today other than this podcast, which is unfortunate because I was watching the tennis as well, which fucking sucked. But so here it says I was actually awake for an hour and 22 minutes. And I remember some of it because I woke up super hot, because right now we've got like a really just constant days of being hot, and it sucks. It's like 40 degrees Celsius and 38 degrees, 35, and it just gets fucking just shitty. So I was awake for that. REM was an hour and 44 minutes, and we can go into detail about every single one. So in particular, it says here, at night, your body cycles through different sleep stages. It usually moves from light sleep to dark sleep, back to light, and then into REM. Through sleep cycles vary naturally. So I was awake for 82 minutes. It's typical to see 10 to 30 awake times each night. So imagine being like waking up 30 times in one night. That's very excessive. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times throughout the night I was awake. It says here, but not because of these moments are so short, you might not even remember them. So I was in REM. It doesn't exactly say. I know I was watching a few videos where REM was within sleep. But it says here, it typically occurs later at night, and it is shown to be important for your memory and your mood. During this stage, dreams are more vivid, heart rate is elevated, and your breathing is faster. And your Fitbit will actually take notice of this, and we'll get into the breathing thing that I use in a second. And that occurs typically at the last bit. And that's why most of you, if you have a dream and you remember it when you wake up, that's because you're in REM for most of the time before you woke up. So yeah, light sleep, I was 45% in light sleep, which actually is it's not bad. You might not know it, but light sleep is actually really important. It typically makes up most of your night and promotes mental and physical restoration, which is why lately I've just been feeling amazing from sleeping. Sleeping is so underrated because it's free. Like, yeah, it costs time to sleep, but it's free. You don't have to pay to sleep. All you do is just go to bed at a certain time, and that's it. And it works tremendous ways. I was in deep sleep for 20%. So for an hour and for basically just under 2 hours, I was in deep sleep. It helps with physical recovery and aspects of memory and learning. If you feel extra refreshed, you most likely spent some solid time in this stage. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't say how long you should be in deep sleep, and that's maybe something I should research after this video. But I was in deep sleep for 2 hours, and that's a really good, for that reason, I woke up and yeah, I trained for like 2.5 hours yesterday playing tennis. I should be fucking wrecked today. I feel good, and I've got gym today, and I feel amazing. I don't feel sore. I still got my adequate amounts of protein and everything like that, but sleep just helps so much with recovery. So this Fitbit Versa can really help with you guys being able to see how you sleep, because that's the only time in your life where you're not there. Like, your body's there, but you're not there. Your brain is switched off, or not technically, it's still running, but you're not there as an individual. Your body's just resting. So on average, It says here, your 30-day average has been 15% awake, 47% in light sleep, 19 for both REM and deep sleep too. Your benchmark should always be within 15 to 25% for REM, deep sleep, and all this shit. So you can edit these goals, but it's just a really good indicator to see where your sleeping is at, because quantity of sleep does not always indicate quality of sleep. A lot of people can get 6 hours of sleep, but if it's like the most fucking beneficial 6 hours and super high quality sleep, that might be beneficial than sleeping 11 hours, which is impossible for me to do. That is so long. Even though, like, if you do like an all-nighter, like I used to do in like camp outs and stuff back in the day, I would camp out, I'd go home and I'd sleep like 12 hours straight because you're sleep deprived. Catching up on sleep is actually a thing. So one thing I do before I go to bed is utilizing the breathing exercise within the Fitbit Versa. So every time I go to bed, it will say like 1 of 7 days and always resets, because I always do it the day like after 12. So I don't know why it just resets. But it will say for 2 minutes, I don't really look at the watch, but yesterday I did. It's a circle. It's a little dot and it says inhale and the circle expands. And as the circle expands, you inhale as much as you can and you really take a really big and deep breath. And then you see the circle expand and then it'll shrink again. And that's when you exhale, sorry. And then it shrinks all the way to a little tiny dot. And you do that for 2 minutes straight and it'll show you what your heart rate was before you did it and after. And it was like at 80 before I started it, and that's like pretty high to be going to bed at 80 beats per minute. And it went to like 67, and it's just like, whoa, you just feel super calm. It's a lot easier to sleep afterwards. I was always rolling around and just thinking so many thoughts within my mind. And doing the breathing exercise for just a simple 2 minutes, it just works. It works so well for me. It vibrates. So that's one thing I forgot to mention. It vibrates when it expands. So even though I don't look at it, it vibrates. I'm like, all right, I'll take a deep breath. Vibrates again. Take a deep breath out. And as you're taking that deep breath out, you take away your thoughts with it too. It's something that you kind of have to. It's something that you kind of have to like teach yourself to do it. I didn't do it at the start initially, but now every time I take a deep breath in, I think all the thoughts are coming in, and then deep breath out, all of them are just gone. And it's amazing what it can do, man. A lot of tennis players will do breathing techniques between change of ends because of like so much high amounts of stress and pressure. Like within a certain game, if you're down 6-5, you have to hold serve. It's literally the 5th set, 2 sets apiece. You're coming to the end of the match. You need to hold serve. On that change of ends, you will just go through a meditation form and breathing exercises. And it works so well, man. It is fucking amazing. Like, the body works in so many tremendous ways. It's astonishing to see, like, how it works. It's pretty fucked. So yeah, that's one thing, just the breathing exercise, going to the gym, eating correctly and eating healthy, you know, eating your veggies. Jesus Christ, man. I feel bad for the tennis players right now, legit. Bro, it's 1 set apiece. Fuck my boy Roundage, bro. Fuck. Like, I want Wawrinka to win, or Wawrinka, because he's my man. He's literally my man with that one-handed backhand, fam. Fuck. So, like, the last round, it was Roundage versus Kyrgios. Fuck, like, my generation, dude, like, us youngsters, fucking love Kyrgios, man, because he takes the piss out of everything. It's so funny to watch. Like, I saw a comment on one of, like, these highlight videos that I was watching. He's a person you love to hate, but it's harder to, you hate to love him, but it's harder to hate him. Yeah, or something like that. Because he's got mad talent. He's a fucking freak on the tennis court. He's one of the few players that's been everyone in the top 10. Like, shit. Like, I feel bad for him now because, like, the Australian media is making him out to be such a shit dog because he lost first round. But everyone forgot that he played pretty good and Raonic was just unbeatable. He went through the second set and did not lose a point on serve. His average serve was 220 kilometers an hour, and his first serve percentage was like 90%. So one thing, like if you guys have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, you get 2 serves in tennis when you're serving. If you get a first serve in, the chances of you winning that point is so much higher than on a second serve. Because when you're going for a second serve, you're like, all right, I need to get it in or else I'm going to lose this point. I need to just semi-get this in, but kind of place it. But like with Raonic, man, if you're getting 92% of your first serves in, when that goes in, 92% of the time, you're going to win that point. Only 10% is going to go towards Kyrgios, and it showed in that match. So I feel bad for him, man, because like everyone was just roasting him, saying you're such a shit dog, get out of town, you lost first round, you're so shit, you're going to drop to like 80. Man, props to Kyrgios, man. Like honestly, he just doesn't give a fuck. And like when you've been so much pressure from the Australian media and like Australia in general to perform well, and performing well anyway, but still losing to such an amazing player, he just has to ignore it and just keep going and grind through the year, and that's it. But other than that, man, AO has been very, very interesting. I've lost a lot of multis. Oh god, I'm so cut. That's like the only time I will bet. I will only bet at AO. First 2 rounds will go me and my missus, and like my best mate and his girlfriend will do like a multi together. We'll do our other 2 multis. Like me and my best mate do. We just fucking like, all right, we'll do these multis. Such who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. Show me yours, whatever. And fucking Isner. Oh my god, just so embarrassing to watch. Can't understand him, bro. Honestly, can't understand how you lose. Legit, he's a freak. He's an animal. He serves so fucking big and he still lost. I don't know why, but yeah, man. I might go into next week within more AO if you guys want me to. It's just like a really big thing in my life for tennis and the Australian Open. It's such a big thing. Now, who am I rooting for? My boy Rafa, obviously. It's Rafa or Federer. I'm not a Novak fan. I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anyone, but I fucking hate Novak. I can't stand him. I can't stand his attitude on court. It pisses me off. He acts like a bitch. Yes, he just acts like a little bitch. He whines. He just cracks rackets left, right, and center. And he's winning and he still cracks a racket. Like, I don't understand that. Like, you never ever see Rafa or Federer ever just get, like, yeah, sometimes Rafa will throw his fist in his racket, but he'll never ever throw it. And he'll never ever show shit attitude to other players, or he sometimes will to the umpire, one in particular, but other than that, it's just always so pleasant to see those two, Rafa and Fed. It's going to be very interesting on Friday, being tomorrow, because my boy Alex de Minaur, literally the most upcoming Australian tennis player, he is literally going to be the next Leighton Hewitt. I can tell you this right now. Even when all these other greats have retired and he's still around, he will be the next Leighton because he's so good. I would have said this at the start already at this podcast about de Minaur, but he's a good player to watch, and he will most likely, he's versing Rafa on Friday, which will be interesting. But after how Rafa played last night, holy shit, dude. Guys, just obliterating his forehand, just spanking left, right winners. It's ridiculous. Other than that, I think most likely Novak might win it. It depends how his form is going to like the quarters and stuff. But yeah, it's very, very interesting to see. But nevertheless, I will leave you guys to it. An hour and 20. Fucking ease. I love going these long podcasts, bro. Even though it's not that long, I fucking love it. It's so good just to talk to everyone, see, you know, like give you guys an insight of what's been happening. And I think going into these future podcasts, I might start implementing like life events in relation to like music, and because, you know, music and fashion kind of go hand in hand with each other, because a lot of people get inspired by the music scene, music videos. You kind of see what your celebrities are wearing. For instance, Travis Scott, Kanye, you see all them. You're like, well, pulling off good fits. It kind of reflects on fashion too. So I might talk about that in like future podcasts. I want to do like Fashion Week, but like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not educated in any of that. It's just going through and seeing different brands and what they have to offer. I don't go into the concept of runways. I just don't. Like, I fucking seeps that. I will not do concepts. I just will see each piece, whether it be like an extravagant fucking outfit. I just like to look one certain piece in particular within runways. One literally that popped up this morning for me was Valentino and Undercover. What the fuck? That was insane. There was so many nice pieces, man. It was actually fucking insane. That was a good one. My boy Kiko Kostanov. That collection was amazing. Runway was so sexy. It's like a blend. It's literally like a new blend of Yoji, but in Kiko's way. And these new Asics, a lot of people aren't fucking with them. He's got like these, it's so sexy because I know I'd wear them at the gym. I legit would. It's like a boxing silhouette of an Asics and Kiko. It's so nice and not many people like it. And I don't really give a fuck because it's such a, it's like a high, it's a high runner silhouette that is very reminiscent of a boxing shoe of back in the day. And even till today, they still use those high boxing silhouettes with like tons of laces, really high up for that added support. The Asics Kiko has something similar in different colorways. I think it's a laceless system, I think, or it might be like a couple laces. I don't quite remember, and I didn't see that many photos. But there's also like a new silhouette too, which I actually don't remember. I was like, nah, I'm not going to remember the name at all. But there were new few silhouettes of Asics. He actually posted on his IG the other day of new colors of the Delver, maybe? I could be wrong. Could get flamed. Might be able to get flamed, but I don't even know what fucking mine are. Mine are Delver. That's it. It's probably, yeah, it's a new Delver model. That's what it is. I've got the forest green and hints of brown on the outsole, and it's so comfortable and so easy to wear. So I wore the Kikos to AO on Monday night. It was a fucking hot ass day. When like at night it was still like 32 degrees. Like fuck off. So I wore my Kikos, right? And I wore them with like a forest green socks, which is like interesting because it's like a blend of like, it was more of a harsher forest green on the sock than the Kiko. So the Kiko's a little bit lighter. And then pairing that up with just like simple black Champion mesh shorts, just because like it's fucking hot, and just a white tee. It's a simple runner that just works, and I'm really, really loving the way Asics look on my body type. I love the way runners look in general. I really want to get this podcast out really like quickly because I was gonna, if anyone wants them, if I haven't sold them yet, I'm selling my wave runners just for like financial reasons. Got to pay for some shit. Wave runners look dope. It's just I have to sell them for financial reasons. If not, I'd still fucking keep them because they're so hard. But the V2 is a lot nicer too. And yeah, it's fucking Yeezys, blah blah blah. But the silhouette looks fire, dude. If it was a different brand, it still looks fucking sick. Wave runner's the brown one, and they're pretty sick. I like the hints of neon, and that's like making a big wave too. Neon's like, it's like made a wave semi last year, and it's like really progressing into this year, which is pretty dope. Other than that, I think we're gonna leave it there, fam. I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I'm really trying to find my way to get on iTunes and Spotify. I don't really know. I can't just SoundCloud anymore because one, not many people are using SoundCloud. I've realized that. I get like 90 views or some shit compared to like 2 to 3K on this video. So I will try my best to get on iTunes and Spotify for you guys. But in the meantime, I will leave you guys to it. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Make sure to like and don't forget to subscribe as well. And I will see you guys on the next video on Verdugo Vibes. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.